Yo, what's up, guys? Still spinning 46. It has been almost a year. It's been 360 days since my first episode. So this has almost been a year. Next episode, next Tuesday, will be after a year. So basically a year. Thank you for everyone listening. For those that don't know, I talk about everything under the universe. And a lot of times it's about dunking and jumping and health and everything dunk related. But I also go off into all different tangents from whatever we're talking about. But today, I had my boy Ben Patrick on from the Athletic Truth Group. It was my first FaceTime call-in guest, and I think it went really well. The audio probably should sound pretty good. I used my mic. He was sounding really good on my end, so I think it went really well that way, and I'm going to have a lot more guests on in the future. A little unorthodox. He was just kind of FaceTiming, walking through town, walking to the beach, walking to the gym, but it works nonetheless, and he was super passionate about training. I was super excited to talk to him because I follow his Instagram, and his methods are really fascinating, and it was just so awesome to get his story, hear him talk about the training. We talked a lot about knee pain. We talked a lot about his new training method, about knees over toes, or his philosophy at least, and it was just really insightful how to cure your knee pain and how to remedy it. He had really bad chronic knee pain. You'll hear his story, and also just different training methods, how to jump higher, and just new things about dunking and just training methods, as you can see by I keep repeating that word. But that's pretty much it. Really enjoyed talking to him, and I look forward to having him back on and maybe visiting his training facility at some point in the future. So thank you again to Ben Patrick, and check out his Instagram, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's go. Still spinning, baby. In my mind, I'm still a scrub, but I love it. I'm my biggest competition. You can't tell me nothing. Been on my way up. They don't need to wake up. Do it for myself. Prove it to myself. The person I see in the future I could be. I just gotta work, and you know I'm doing that. Never stop, always on attack. Locked in the path, never getting off track. Whatever I lack, add it to my bag. And I got plenty more where that came from. And my price is right, I never change, bruh. Don't get it done right. And that's every day, that's dunk life. Oh. All right, we're live, baby. What's up, Ben? Nice to meet you, man.
What's up, bro? It's nice to officially meet you. I've been seeing you online for a long time.
Likewise.
Yeah, I love your energy and your videos, and it's awesome to finally meet you, so to say.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you making the time, even though you're kind of on the road. Hoping not rushing you too much.
Yeah, I just came from a meeting. I'm heading to the gym now, but I've got 45 minutes. I'm good, man.
Beautiful. So, I just had super curious about your programs and just all your training methods. So I just really wanted to kind of pick your brain on it, just because I thought it would be great information I want to know for my own training, but also I wanted to podcast it so I could share with anybody. So, first off, I love the exercises you suggested to me. I tried them on Sunday. I did the split squats and I did the seated good mornings, and I felt really good. And so for those, like the split squats, when I did them, I'm just going to try to probably use myself as like a guinea pig example, because I think that's the best way to kind of game what we're doing.
And you actually did like a dropping split squat variation.
Okay, so I dropped into it.
So a standard split squat is you do all the reps consecutively on one leg, then you take a break, then you do the reps consecutively on the other leg. But I had just sent you a video of how to do it, so it probably looked like in the video I probably was just showing how to do it. So it probably looked like you do one leg, then do the other leg.
I honestly didn't even take it into account. I just kind of did it, tried to get the form down, and it was really good. Like, I did pretty lightweight. I did like 15 pounds and 30 pounds. I only did a few sets, few reps. Didn't go crazy, but I definitely felt it in my hamstrings after that, even from just that lightweight. Nice. So, just in overall, I know you're kind of a knees over toes guy. So I kind of wanted to kind of get how you got to that point, because I don't know too much about like the anatomy and things like that, but I do have seen yours a lot about knees over toes. And to me, what I like to do is I like to, like the way you say it puts you in that position, so get stronger in that position. I've felt that's always helped me. Like whenever I had ankle injuries, for example, is that when I was recovering them or preventing, is like I would kind of bend my ankle in all different directions, trying to strengthen it and stretch it, and that always made me feel better. So I kind of, when I saw the knees over toes type of idea, it didn't really take much convincing for me, but I kind of wanted to see how you got to that point.
Absolutely. So, all growing up, I was like the least athletic kid on every basketball team. I had nicknames for how unathletic I was. In high school, I was the leading scorer on my high school team because I could shoot the piss out of it. But I literally got clocked at a 6.23 in the 40.
Okay.
If any of your listeners know 40-yard dash times,
yeah,
that's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's so slow. My coach made me take my shoes off in front of the whole team to prove that I didn't have lead weights in my shoes.
My God, why did he roast you like that?
And then we did the vertical jump test, and I got 19 inches.
Wow.
My nickname was White Bread. That was put on the back of my team travel shirt, not Patrick, which is my last name is Patrick.
Right.
No, it came out White Bread.
Oh my God.
So, anyway, now through all that, even at that time, I had chronic knee pain. By the time I was 12 or 13, I remember one day getting to a building and I was going upstairs and I was a little bit freaked out because I was like, man, if there was a fire in this building, I might die because it would take me about half an hour to get warmed up. Like
right.
my knees were so stiff and had such bad jumper's knee. Like, my life was a weird, miserable, depressed situation because my first word was ball. I was obsessed with basketball, was in my first leagues by the time I was 5. I was that kid who was obsessive. I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I hated getting up early in the morning, but I'd wake up at 5 a.m. before school and my alarm would be across the room and the alarm would light up and it would illuminate something that I had written which said, what would John Stockton do? Because he used to get up at 5 a.m. So I would have to look at that and be like, fuck,
yeah,
I really don't want to get up right now. And I was 11 years old.
Yeah, that's great at a young age to be able to like have the awareness to do something like that.
Right, but I would do everything. I would go put my ankle weights on, and I would dribble 2 basketballs through my neighborhood. And I did jump soles, and I did jump rope, weighted jump rope, medicine balls, air alert, strength shoes, Tim Grover's jump attack. I was trying everything that had to do with getting more athletic, and weight vest, parachute. Like, I was that kid who was like just trying anything and overworking like crazy.
Right.
So my body was a wreck. I went into high school at 92 pounds.
Wow.
And by the time I hit 6 foot, I was 118 pounds.
Jeez.
My dad graduated high school at 125 pounds at 6 foot. So I came from really skinny genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was telling me, bulk up, bulk up, bulk up. So I got a bodybuilding coach to try to bulk me up for basketball. And my knees were so bad that once it got off season from high school, I didn't even play AAU. I would just, at a certain point, my knees were just in too much pain. I was taking the whole off season. You know what? I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb mode right now.
Okay.
So nobody, because I wasn't sure if I just lost the screen there. Someone was trying to call.
Oh, I just paused for a second, but I can still hear you.
We're on do not disturb. All right. So I would literally take like 6 months off basketball, and I was doing this bodybuilding thing. So I actually got up, by the time I was 18, I was like 205. Like, I had bulked up like crazy. But because my knees were so bad, I could never really get into my leg movements too far. And I was very careful because of my knees to never let my knees over my toes in training. So I would do Bulgarian split squats all the time, but not letting my knees over my toes.
Because it hurt to go over your toes?
Because I was told not to.
Oh, okay.
I would do box squats because those didn't put your knees over your toes. And the thing is, I could do those without knee pain because my knees weren't over my toes. So it made sense to me, like, oh, like your knees hurt. Putting your knees over your toes puts more pressure on your knees. That hurt my knees. Yeah. Therefore, don't let your knee over your toes. So that was the common thing from trainers, like, oh, don't let your knees over your toes, you'll hurt your knee. Well, through all this, I wound up having multiple knee surgeries, and I finished high school with absolutely zero interest from colleges. I actually missed my entire senior year with a pretty bad knee surgery, so I never even played a game my senior year. Had no interest from colleges. I was like puffy, bulky, fat, like the new guy at LA Fitness is like thinks that just eating everything will bulk him up, but then before he knows it, he like doesn't have abs anymore. But he's like, bro, I put on like 40 pounds of muscle. Like, I was that guy.
It's mass.
I actually couldn't touch the rim anymore.
Wow.
So, I was down to like a 17-inch vertical. It was pretty bad for a guy who wanted nothing more out of life than to play basketball. And even all the bodybuilding stuff I did was to try to bulk up for basketball. So, man, I was just like, I was in a weird spot. And I remember having knee pain again, even after the second surgery. The knee pain was so bad that I was sure I was going to have another surgery. And I remember on that day when I kind of realized this, of like, man, I'm going to have another one. And now high school was done. I had no recruitment. I decided I have to figure out a way to bulletproof the body. Like, I just want to be able to play basketball without it hurting. So that was my decision. And now, instead of trying anything and everything to jump higher, and I'm going to go into the gym here. This is my spot.
Hey,
this is
ATG, baby. That's dope.
Hey, it's a fact that I've paid off this building, so I own my own $1 million building in downtown. And we're here in downtown Clearwater. It's not a big city, but it's beautiful. It's right by the water. I should have showed you actually on my drive-in. I was going right along the water. What's up, bro? Good, man. So this is ATG, and I'm going to go inside, and we'll keep going. So I was at this point. You guys, I'm doing a podcast. I know. I was like, so there's some backward slide going on.
What's up?
Oh, keep going. This is I'm on a podcast. So this is one of our most used exercises because it actually reverses the flow. It reverses the flow of all the trauma that goes in on your knees.
Yeah.
Here we go over here. Oh, and it's upper body day, by the way, but we finish upper body with sled backwards.
Gotcha.
Here's our ATG bar that makes you go past the grass on a bench press. So this is ATG. Everything we do is like ass to the grass style. Even a row. If you can't get it all the way up and hold it there, it's too much weight.
Gotcha.
So from the outside, a lot of our stuff looks like pussy stuff because maybe we don't use as much weight, but we go through deeper range of motion. And then if you test our guys pound for pound on squats, deadlifts, benches, they actually really exceed what they were doing when they were actually lifting much heavier.
What do you mean? So they work with the lighter weight, but then
if I was stuck in a garage with you, and I only had a bar and some 25-pound plates, I could put 50 pounds on your deadlift. So
like their overall max can get heavier, even though they're only working out with lighter weight.
I have many cases of guys who didn't lift anything over buck 15, buck 35, and put up to 50 pounds on deadlifts. So, but by drastically changing their range of motion and strengthening into every nook and cranny. Since I'm here,
gotcha.
I thought I'm going upstairs. We got a little skill court up here. Let's see what we got. So we got Sandra's working on getting that thumb off the ball. You see that? Oh,
I see that.
Girl's working on
got
some
like a glove on with no thumb.
This is just like an upstairs little skill. Like
that's
we
beautiful,
just
man.
Up here. We're going to be building a second gym up top just because we're expanding so fast. But in the meantime, it's like a pit, and guys can just go up there and work on extra fundamentals.
Gotcha.
But you know what? I'll be way too distracted in the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take a walk around town.
Okay. So I really like that. So you're all about like lighter weight, but all range of motion.
No, it's actually what we're about. We're about strengthening the nooks and crannies. So we actually lift to failure every workout. Just about every set once you're warmed up. We actually go to failure. But in all these nooks and crannies, and the coaching is very precise. There's my guy. If you guys know Foamer Simpson, you better follow. I'm on a podcast. Yeah. You know Foamer Simpson?
I don't.
Oh, you don't know Foamer Simpson?
No.
You gotta follow him now.
I will.
300,000 followers and counting.
Let's go.
Sneakers and just the dopest videos. Is that your new car?
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Nice. So don't worry, I didn't lose track of where I originally was.
Yeah.
And that is, and I'll get back to the training. But yeah, I was in this weird point, and so now I shifted from I have to figure out how to bulletproof my body, not how do I get more athletic, how do I run faster, jump higher. I was just on like, how do I fucking play without my knees hurting? Because my whole life it was you're too slow, you can't jump high enough, you're too skinny. So everything was how do I run faster, how do I jump higher, how do I bulk up?
Right.
So, but now is at the point where like all I was going to do is just going to be in and out of hospitals with my knees.
Yeah.
So I was hooked on painkillers. My life just fucking sucked. And all I did was grow up being the hardest working basketball player. I thought, oh, you work hard and, you know, no pain, no gain. I was proud that my knees hurt at 13. I thought that meant I was like, you know
working
what I mean?
Hard, yeah.
Oh, it's probably just growing pains. I'm working so hard. No, it wasn't the case. So now that my attention was on figuring out how to bulletproof the body, now I was trying anything and everything to get rid of these pains, to fix my knees, to cure. By this point, I now had back problems. I was going to chiropractors every day. My shoulders were so messed up from, I was just the chronic overtrained guy.
Mm-hmm.
So anything I was trying to do to get better, I would overdo it because I would work that hard. I had no social life, no girlfriend, no prospects of any kind. My life was just a freaking mess, but my shoulders hurt so bad that I remember being at like family get-togethers and I couldn't even throw a football. I had to like make some excuse why, like I couldn't get the ball like, 10 yards away from me because my shoulders hurt that bad from benching. Mm-hmm. And I was benching so hard because I thought I had to get stronger. I was trying to bulk up. I was just always doing, the most I've been told. So my whole body's wrecked. I started trying everything. And it was one day that I read something from a guy named Charles Poliquin. And from that moment forward, I have had no other mentor. I have not used a single piece of data from anyone but him. And he'll be the first to tell you that he didn't make up 99% of what he does. He actually was smart enough to go find the source. So like what I use to rehabilitate knees, one of my most used exercises comes from one of the most successful downhill ski coaches ever, who was able to reverse a spiral of knee injuries in downhill skiers who are going like 80 miles an hour in and out of turns. So when I tell you my knees are bulletproof, I can promise you my knees will never get hurt on a basketball court. I have superior knees to any basketball player you know. I've not only gone from being in chronic pain, I actually have now more than doubled my vertical. It's still going up, and my knees are freaking bulletproof.
Yes, sir.
I travel playing professionally in Europe. I could just play and play. My knees are bulletproof. I can play basketball all day, every day. Basketball is nothing compared to my knees because I have the standard of knees needed to go down slopes at 80 miles an hour and change direction. Now, you'll never catch me skiing. I don't even go bowling because I take basketball so seriously. I'm not that guy you're going to find playing dodgeball at a cookout because I just saved my body for basketball.
Right.
But my point is that my knees are that of a downhill skier. And I'm trying to get the flexibility of a gymnast. And I have, so basically, Charles Poliquin, being an Olympic trainer, he's trained more Olympic medalists than anyone else in history. So as far as mastery of the body, I don't even think it comes close. Because it's stats. And there's all kinds of like crazy stories about him, and he makes up this, there's been guys to go blast him on the internet, and the guys blasting him actually lie about everything that Poliquin said, because you can find what Poliquin said, it's a lie. But basically, when I was researching him, there was like a lot of like negative stuff about him, but the stat remained the same. He was the most successful Olympic trainer of all time. He had trained more medals. He's produced more medals than any other trainer, and it's not even close. So it's like, holy shit.
So
I
from him,
what he said, you ready for this?
Yeah.
What he said was not only to not avoid knee over the toe, but actually to go maximally over the toe. And that really took me some time to process.
Right.
Now, me being my crazy nature, I went and tried this in the gym. It hurt my knees like hell. And I did it the next day and the next day and the next day. And after 2 weeks, I've never looked back. I've never missed a single basketball practice or anything since that day. And that has to be 8 years ago, because 7 years ago.
So
I was just meeting my future wife. I'm getting married in October.
Congrats. So
thanks, bro.
That's definitely revolutionary. So when you say going over the toes maximum, is that with the split squats, or is that any other exercise, or mainly just the split squats?
Our whole quad development program is based on building your knees over the toes. Now,
Okay.
what I did was just squats. I had no idea what I was doing. I just elevated my heels and went right through all the clicking and creaking and all the crazy joint pain, and I just squatted right through it every day. And that was enough, because I just didn't give up and I kept doing it. That was enough to get me back on the court. And now I'm 21 years old by this point. I had saved up $15,000 and I went and played post-grad basketball. Everyone else is first year out of high school. I'm 3 years out of high school. But I still believed I could play basketball.
Right.
I went there and I was lucky enough to get a scholarship. So I ended up getting a full ride basketball scholarship to Eastern Florida State, which is a really good JUCO. And from there, I actually signed, I didn't sign actually. I committed. I had a full ride from Boston University. So here I went from no recruitment out of high school, just an absolute nothing, to now I was getting like close to dunking just from the squats. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
Because you get to college, you have to do what they tell you.
You were just loading on weight, like trying to go heavier and heavier, or you just trying to get better range of motion?
I was trying to do what Poliquin said, which was control the weight all the way down.
Gotcha. Okay.
I probably never made it over about 185.
Okay.
But that was enough. That was enough to get my knees healthy enough to play, and it got me through college. But it wasn't a perfect ride, meaning like I never had to miss a practice or anything because of my knees. But like, it's not like they felt great all the time. I would ice all the time, but it was such a sharp change from before when I never let my knees over my toes.
Yes.
And that was just from squats. That's all I knew. All I knew was squats.
Okay.
Now, a crazy thing happened. I was 23, coming out of junior college, going to Boston University. But when I applied there and we went through everything, had a full ride offer. This scholarship was worth $64,000 a year. And we're down here. For anyone who wants to come here,
we're at the ocean, boys.
We're right here. I'm just taking a walk around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my life had completely flipped around. But as they were going through all the application process, and I'm thinking, man, they only had a freshman point guard coming in. I'm a junior, 2 years of starting experience at a loaded JUCO. I'm thinking I'm going to be a starter. I was just the Florida Scholar Athlete of the Year for basketball for junior colleges, and the NCAA denied my eligibility. I was already 5 years out of high school. You only get 5 years once you graduate high school for D1. That was completely over my head. I never even thought about it. No one said anything about it. Everyone was like, oh, what the heck? So we got all my medical records, and we tried to appeal it to the NCAA. Boston appealed it because it was like, well, I didn't have an unfair advantage. I was out 2 years just trying to figure out how to get healthy, right?
Yeah.
And the NCAA denied it. I guess they'd had a lot of cases like that. They were cracking down. They denied it. They denied it. I was left with two options. Go there and go there and get a lawyer and hope that I could get it overturned before the season.
Right.
Okay. But honestly, when that thing came back from the NCAA, I got the call. Not only did I not shed a tear, I moved on in that second, and I never even felt bad about it, because in that moment I knew, all right, I'm already fucking 23. I need to get the show on the road. I need to start figuring out this training thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew enough from that change, and I had helped other teammates. I would help some kids when I was back. I had helped other people jump higher, get rid of their knee pain, just from the deep squats.
And also, real quick, when you did the deep squats and you started getting some healthier knees, were you also jumping higher and feeling more athletic?
Yes. And I started having a few days there when I was 23, like after practice. I remember it was my sophomore year of college. After practice, and now is when I was like, the season was done, so I got to really get back more into my training.
Yeah.
I was like able, not in a game or anything, but like to put down a dunk or two, and everyone was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they never even saw me at my worst when, like guys back home, no one even actually believed, like my friends did not believe I could dunk.
Right.
Until I could actually show them. So they literally didn't believe me. They would bet me that I could not dunk. But all I did to that point that got me through college, I would get my heels elevated, because if I didn't have my heels elevated, I would just look like a rounded turtle or something trying to squat all the way down.
Yeah.
So I'd put like some 25-pound plates or whatever on the floor, fairly close together, not real wide, like an athletic stance. Just like what Poliquin said to do is, if you need to, if you're too tight, elevate your heels.
Yeah.
and I would slowly go all the way down. And then only when I literally was rock bottom and couldn't get any deeper, then I would explode up. And if you look at that, and if you try that, like, your knees just kind of naturally go over your toes.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it hurt that first 2 weeks, but it really started to get better. So when Boston denied my eligibility, or not Boston, the NCAA, I knew, all right, it's time for me to start training.
Right.
So I joined my buddy in a garage gym. There were local kids who already wanted to train because people were like, how the heck did this guy go from a nobody and now he can, like, you know, he can, like, it wasn't anything pretty, but I could dunk, you know, and I looked way different because all of a sudden I had, like, some leg muscles and I had played through college. It was like, how the heck did that happen? To get a Division I scholarship coming from where I was, I mean, I don't know if anyone's had anything like that happen where I don't know if anyone had less recruitment than I did out of high school and then got a Division I scholarship. So then I started training people, and that's when, now that I was out of college, I flew and just started studying with Charles Poliquin, this Olympic trainer.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So if you were to give somebody a protocol right now who's got the typical jumper's knee, and you want to get them from, like, no pain and then again to bulletproof, what would you kind of give them a little breakdown of? Definitely.
That's a great thing. And that's honestly what now I've had to build over the last few years, because all I told you so far was controlling the weight all the way down on squats. But I was missing so much with that. And even though that got my knees healthy, throughout college, I had, like, horrible shin splints. I would have to tape up my lower legs. I had no 1 foot bounce. The day that I dunked, I remember dunking off 2 feet and being, wow, I could do that. And then someone said something about, oh, what's your 1 foot? I was like, I don't know my 1 foot. They put me on a Vertec. I could only touch 10-1.
Yeah.
10-1. Now I'm clearing 11 feet off 1 foot.
Wow, dude.
But my point is that the squat should not be the first thing you do to fix your knees. And that's why my body was really, it went well, but I finished college. I still couldn't break 5 seconds in a 40, which is still super slow. Now, for me, I had actually gotten way faster, but I was missing quite a bit. I basically now had a little bit of 2 foot bounce. I was faster, but I was still considered slow. I had no bounce off 1 foot because all I had done was double leg squatting.
Yeah.
Now we actually do a 2-to-1 ratio of single leg to double leg. And the first thing you would start with is I use 2 different exercises that just train your knee over your toe. You don't even go down all the way yet. It's like reverse step-ups. And for anyone watching, this coming Monday, ATG launches its own YouTube page with daily videos, and the purpose of every single video is just to help. Like, we literally give away, like, all the stuff I might describe right now, you're going to be able to see in full detail exactly how to do it.
Awesome.
We've never gone public with stuff. We finally have. You can see I'm out of the gym right now. No, this never used to happen. I used to work, I can't remember until just now when I didn't work 100 hours in a week in the gym. It's absolutely insane how much work I've been doing the last few years. But now I have the right team in place. I can leave the gym and the exact ATG system is duplicated.
Right.
You see that? That's why I can be walking around talking to you. So I can give you a quick breakdown, which is first, we do these kind of reverse step-ups in order to just work the knee over the toe. It takes super precise form, which I couldn't describe right now. But if you look at my Instagram page, I'm sure there's examples, and you can literally see perfect form there. Obviously, a YouTube video explaining everything I'm about to tell you that just makes it all that much easier. By doing that, those step-ups actually strengthen the heck out of your feet and your ankles and your lower legs as well. So it builds a base that all the force coming up through the ground, not only is your knee protected, but, like, you have much stronger feet, ankles, because I had, like, horrible foot pain.
Would you do this with shoes on, or could you do it with barefoot?
You could do barefoot, but we usually do shoes just because you're stepping down. So, like, unless you have a soft surface to step down onto, it just makes sense to do with shoes.
Okay.
So basically, all you're doing there is just isolating knee over the toe. Just isolating the knee over the toe. Then from there, you would progress to our split squat, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm walking back to the gym, and when I get there, in 60 seconds, I can show you what I'm talking about by having someone put the camera on.
So split squat.
But again, our YouTube channel is going to explain everything.
Yeah.
From these reverse step-ups, you would progress to a split squat. And what that is now it's taking the knee over the toe, but now it's taking that quality all the way down on one leg though, because just about every athlete I've ever trained, the pain is not completely equal. If they had knee surgeries, they're not completely symmetric. Like, it's not like they had the exact same knee surgery on both sides, right? So this was like the intermediate that I never got out of the double leg squat. And so I had a lot of muscles were missing because I only did the double leg squat.
Gotcha.
So we actually progressed through the step ups, the reverse step ups of knee over the toe, and then taking that knee over the toe to full depth with the split squat. And then the better you get, like at that split squat, then squatting's so easy all the way down. And you end up with amazing mobility. I'll show you when I go to the gym. I can do the splits on command any time of day. You could wake me up first thing in the morning.
You don't need to.
And that's from our split squat. That's from doing our split squat. So now this has opened me up. Now this is why I can jump off one leg. I don't get any sequence. But if it weren't for the step ups and the split squats, I would still be slow. Yeah. I run a 4.51 on lasers last time out. So it's funny. I'm really close to getting into that coveted 4.4. I'm 4.51. Yeah. And my vertical at last test on Vertec is 39 inches. So I'm really close to like quote unquote 4.4 and like a 40-inch vertical.
That's beautiful, man.
But anyone who does our program, I just had an athlete sign with the New York Giants, football player that I train, and you can look him up. He ran. Actually, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I don't know how much I want to say about him, but basically he ran a 4.71 at the combine, and that's right on the NFL website. 4.71, and in their private workout, he's now going into his 7th year in the league. Okay, so at 21 years old, fresh out of college, 4.71, working with guys like like NFL combine prep. Like, you're paying big bucks. These people's only job is to get you fast at those. Right. We did no combine prep. He's older, and when he came to me, he was like, "Bro, I'm probably running like a 4.8 now because I'm not as fast as I was when I ran a 4.7." Anyways, he ran a 4.53. Beautiful. Okay. And he never squatted heavy. He never deadlifted heavy. He just did our ATG system.
So you did the step downs kind of, and then
exactly
the split squats.
He got great at the step ups. He got great at the split squats. And now his squat form looks great, but we never take it to like maximal qualities. Right. We have 3 really unique squats that we do, which again, you're going to be able to learn on the YouTube. Okay. There's so much to learn. It's going to take daily YouTube videos, and you're going to learn something new every day.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it for sure because I know I already like what I'm hearing, but I can't wait to see the explanations. Anyway, I was going to switch gears really quick just to kind of go to the next level because for me, I don't really have any knee pain, but I'm trying to jump higher and get faster.
I love it.
So I just wanted to see, like, what would you say for me, kind of diagnose me? I'm not the most athletic. I'm good off the 2 foot, but like I'm bad off the dribble. But I just wanted to see what you kind of would give me as a weight plan, like kind of like a workout plan. And then on top of that too, so just to jump higher, but also like what are your takes on like doing like block training where you do like a phase of just block training with less jumping, or do you do like a mixed type of thing? So just wanted to hear your thoughts.
All right. So to start that topic is I told you I was just trying to get my body healthy. Yeah. But the things I was doing to get my body healthy started making me more athletic because it's kind of like science. Okay, if I can protect more impact into my knee, I can reverse more impact out of my knee. Yes. Ankle, hip, whatever. So the funny thing is that I've found the most miraculous vertical jump changers, for example, and speed changers are the exact same things I would do to protect against injury. Whereas when I was younger, I thought those were separate categories. I thought it was, well, I can train for athleticism, but it might wreak havoc on my body, right? Or I can train for health, but I'm going to be a fucking pussy and I'm not going to be athletic and explosive. So, so basically, the stuff you're going to learn on this YouTube is what we do to get really athletic. But I think that's a really interesting topic of, got the gym going here. Yeah. It's always going. All day. Always. All athletes.
So would you just maybe load more weight, or would you?
I'll tell you. So our same system that works for protecting the body is exactly what I would use to get more athletic. Now, when it comes to like jumping higher, then you need the extra. Oh, it's a bro. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm on a podcast.
What's that, dude?
My friend. So when it comes to jumping, then there's the actual jumping itself. Yeah. Okay. And I'm a huge believer. Ready for this? And because I've tried everything, and this is my own thing that I've just kind of developed from, working with real guys. what I believe in for jumping is just practicing jumping.
Yeah.
I actually don't believe in plyometrics for jumping, because jumping is plyo. If you do all the research, I'm gonna go out of there. It's a 2-pack.
Yeah.
So, if you do the research and you understand like what plyometrics is and stuff, I mean, every time you approach for a dunk, and this is why a lot of pro dunkers I think get such good results, is they're doing plyometrics every jump session. You know what I mean? Every dunk session is plyometrics.
That's kind of, somebody asked me today if I do plyometrics still, because I don't really show it, and I told them that my dunk sessions are basically my plyometrics. I jump from different angles, I go off different plants, and that's basically what I do.
Exactly. And so here is, from my observation, what gets a guy, whether it was you or an Olympic high jumper, like what will get a guy now to get that highest jump. Okay. And I have 2 guys in the gym now clearing 50 inches on verticals. Okay. So it's one thing if you've only tested it to 40 inches, like I'm at 39, you know what I mean? If you've tested to 39, you don't really know, like, for those elite guys, because high jumpers, guys in your sport, like in dunking, those guys are, I mean, just do the math. Okay. 6 foot head to the rim, that's 48 inches.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not talking about 40-inch verticals anymore.
Yeah. We're talking about
I think you can get to 40, like, just off training your body. Like,
yeah.
I you know, whether you jump or not, like, I think you get to 40. And same with whether you work out or not, like, just from jumping, I also think you get to 40. But, like, getting to 50 is now, like, that's like a new topic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And unless someone's had experience with those type of guys, you don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So I actually tried lots of different forms of plyometrics. And what always works the best is proportionately working more on your weakest jumps. So if you run and jump off your right leg, can you even dunk?
Me? No. Not even close.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't even dunk off your right leg. So, and I got this because I train so many basketball players, and we're just trying to get as good as we can at basketball. So I started it when I realized with myself, when I could only jump off 2 feet, and when I first could dunk, because I went my whole life not dunking. I wasn't thinking about one leg or two. I was just thinking about dunking.
Yeah.
So with a left-right approach, I could dunk. And then I found out my 1 foot was terrible. And then guys were going like right-left, throwing down like that Damian Lillard dunk down the middle, that, you know, Dennis Smith, whatever. And they were like, oh, you're not about that life. I'm like, oh, I can dunk.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, shit. Actually, I can't dunk.
Yeah.
I couldn't dunk right-left. Right-left, I could at least, like, get up and grab the rim. Now, off my right leg, I couldn't even touch the rim, even though I could dunk left-right. And off my left leg, as I said, 10'1" touch on a vertex. That's with no ball. So I was like, I couldn't even attempt to dunk, let alone dunk. Like, it didn't even, you know, when you're jumping so low, like, you can't even get a good attempt in.
Right.
So that's when I started. I was like, oh, wow. So I started putting attention on it, and it took a combination of learning the proper training, because I found out, oh, I can't jump off 1 foot. I went to go practice it. It made my shin, I thought my leg was going to break in half.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my heel started hurting, and my foot, I was like, well, I can't. I just thought I would never be a 1 foot jumper. I thought it was too late. But because of the training stuff I was learning concurrently with working on things on a basketball side, I've gradually found that you actually can do it. And for myself, I just recently, a few months ago, got to where now, like any day I go to the gym, like, I can throw down off 1 foot. It's like the best feeling in the world. Kind of like when I went from not being able to dunk my whole life to being able to dunk. I feel like I'm in like a video game, and now like
you got the achievement.
World.
Yeah.
Being able to dunk off. But you know what I do now? Right now, at 7 o'clock, we're going over the court for one-on-one battles, because that's our workout today for our pro basketball guys. As soon as we're done, I'm grabbing my little pink dodgeball, and I'm working on my right leg dunk.
Gotcha. Let's go.
Dodgeball, I'm like LeBron with that pink dodgeball.
So
it doesn't work if you're not. I found it doesn't work if you're not getting makes, and that's also why I identify with a lot with dunkers who use like low rims. I think that shit works. Like, I see guys form really shitty when they can't dunk, and they like keep trying to dunk but they can't.
Yeah.
I just see their form is like you can almost see their body, especially if it's not their natural jump. Like trying to do an unnatural jump, they almost strain worse and don't jump as high.
Right.
So I found. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for someone like me that's at 40, like trying to get to that elite level, but kind of stuck at that low 40s, like what would be like my next protocol, you think?
Your next protocol would be proper strength training, ATG style, because I've never had a single guy ever train with me who did not get at least 6 inches or more just out of trying these exercises because it's like newbie gains. Now, I've had guys start back where I was. Like, I had a kid who had an 18-inch vertical who now can dunk, but no one's amazed that he can dunk just because they see him dunk. But people who
they don't know where he came from.
Knew him, right. And then I had a guy walk into my gym with a 40-inch vertical who's now over 50 inches.
Yeah.
Okay, from following my exercise. And he was already mid-20s in his, age. Like, he was already fully grown. People told me, like, oh, yeah, you can make, like, a slow guy jump a little higher, but, like, you can't take an already.
Are we talking about Zay Vegas by any chance?
No, we're actually talking about Marcus Leonard.
Oh, okay. I always see Zay on there.
Zay's awesome, and he's been, like, in and out of town. Like, he hasn't trained with me as long as Marcus has. Marcus probably has a full year and a half of training under his belt. Zay Vegas probably has a good 6 months of training under his belt. Both guys, just immediately start jumping higher.
Yeah, so for me, you gave me those exercises, the split squats, the things. Would that be it? And then would I try to be going heavier?
That I'm going to have to show you videos for that.
Okay.
Because there's so much data. I could honestly talk about any one of those exercises probably for an hour. But what I was going to say is just that your body's going to have like newbie gains off these exercises.
Right.
And I've never had someone come in and ace these tests because if they've done any training, their body is out of balance to some degree. So
right.
you have newbie gains waiting for you. So whether you're coming in at 40 or you're coming in at 20, I've just never in hundreds of cases.
They haven't done these like specific
I've never
exercises.
seen a guy not make newbie gains. Like you have a lot of gains in the tank waiting for you.
So for me, like I'll do these new exercises like the split squats I've never done, the seated good mornings, and then kind of balance my body out, hit those nooks and crannies, and then I'm guessing I'm trying to load a little bit more weight but stay with the form as a priority.
You go absolutely as hard as you possibly can. You lift as much weight as you can within the boundaries of that lift. So there's certain depth targets that you're trying to hit.
Okay.
You're not so those lifts are going to be different than lifts you've done in the past because it's extremely precise on like what your depth is, like what depth are you going for and what form are you using. And within that and within the reps that I tell you to do, you lift as hard as you can.
Gotcha.
So I find my craziest athletes can do more weights. And then your slower, weaker guy starts out at absolutely pathetic weights. And then as that goes up, then he gets more athletic. And as your crazy guy goes up and increases his range of motion, so he's hitting new muscle fibers he's never even touched before, then he goes up. So I've just never seen a case where it hasn't worked yet. I've never seen a single case. And they combine that now, and this is where I had to do lots of trial and error. They combine that with my belief in jump training, which is not to do any plyometrics. We don't do box jumps. We don't do any other kind of
just
plyometrics.
Jumping.
We just do, and this is for basketball players, we just do actual basketball jumping.
Right.
And the goal, where I see the highest results, is where the guy jumps proportionally more reps with his weakest jump. So you would start training your right leg jump. And at first something's probably going to start hurting. You'll probably start jumping off your right leg, probably your knee will start hurting or your shin will something will probably start hurting, which is why the physical training is so important to bolster that, and which is why it's important you have to be patient. You do it once a week, whatever starts hurting, or maybe nothing's hurting, but all of a sudden your jump starts deteriorating, you're not getting as high, you call it a day.
Is the theory behind that sort of that you're kind of that's another way to balance your body?
Yeah, and you're actually increasing its strength. So
okay.
say you approach left right.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, imagine if you try to approach left right in slow motion, but if you approach left right in slow motion, you're not going to get nearly as high as if you run into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be able to absorb that force. But now if you're always going, and you're a right-left guy.
Yeah.
Do you get as high left-right?
No, I'm not. It used to be as high, but now my form got so bad that I'm trying to get it back where my form is better.
Right. So basically, when you're approaching that jump, even though one leg may take more force at one point or another, if you get the other leg stronger and all those other muscles stronger, then you can approach that jump harder.
Right.
So if you are a guy who jumps only off his left leg, because I've had guys jump as high as 13 inches higher, like 1 foot jumpers. I've had guys who go as high as 13 inches higher off one leg than the other leg.
Wow.
Now by getting the other leg stronger and not even worrying about the strong leg, all of a sudden they go back to the strong leg. And this is only, same with the weight training exercises, with these jump exercises, it doesn't mean shit that you did it one time. It only matters, do you actually change your body? So if your actual maximum touch off your right leg right now was, let's say, 10-4, and you actually got that shit to 11 foot, you will go out and jump higher off 2 feet or off your left leg. Do you see what I'm saying? So same with the exercise. Just because you did it one time, it's like if you showed up to do bench press every day and you just used the bar and you have to make your body adapt. You actually have to make the results. It takes time. But say you're 25 years old and you haven't jumped higher since you were 19, and now in 1 year I make you jump 6 inches higher. Is that worth it? Yeah, but you just did something maybe every week all year round. I tell people in my split squat, I tell them very sincerely, do 10,000 reps and you will completely change your body. 10,000. That would mean doing 10 sets of 5 once a week for a few years.
Yeah, a long time.
4 years.
So for me, I did the split squats and I did the good mornings on Sunday. I'm going to probably dunk again this week, but then when I go to my next workout, I'm going to hit squats, and I'm going to have like newbie gains again because I haven't squatted in a while. But my plan going forward, I just want to get your quick thoughts on this, is that after I do it for like a couple weeks, kind of get adapted to this new workout, I'm going to try to start adding weight to it and just keep my focus on range of motion, focus on balance, but also start adding some weight to get a little heavier and stronger.
Yeah, and everything has a very precise form, so you can actually push to failure every single workout.
Okay.
If you can maintain it with that form. And that's exactly why I have a $49.50 a month service where we coach your form, where I give you an exact program, and every workout you get to send in your form and I coach it, because I found that 90% of the time something is wrong with the form to where they're just not going to get the result, because I've tried it every which way. Now, the easiest thing to make money is to sell programs. I sell the program, and I sell that coaching. That you send in your form after every single session. That's the only way I can make the result happen, because this style lifting is way more precise and technical than anything else I've seen. So yes, what you're saying about trying to do more weight, every workout is not only a workout, it's a test. Okay. And because of my experience, I can tell you, here's a number that will help you maximize. Like, if you can do this much on this exercise at this depth, you can maximize your athleticism.
Okay, so depth is priority though, right? Like depth and range of motion definitely a priority.
Length before load. Okay. Meaning like, and it's all explained for each exercise. It's very precise. Like, everything's black and white about the form of the exercise we do. There's no way to cheat it. It's 100% scientific form. You cannot cheat the form. It's so exact. Either you did it right or you didn't do it right. Okay. And you have an exact target for every single exercise we do. And what that means is that based on my actual findings, if you can't do blah, you could jump higher and run faster. Okay. Until you can do blah, you have more gains in the tank.
Okay. And one more thing adding on to that workout. So for me, I'm going to be lifting maybe once or twice a week, but you definitely suggest jumping throughout the week as well, right? Like, you don't take off from jumping.
Yeah, I don't suggest taking off from jumping, but I do suggest once a week working on your weakest jump.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I train basketball players. I don't have any dunkers at the gym. I only have basketball players. So I would love to train dunkers. I just don't happen to have any. So training basketball players, we are on the court 5 days a week, like all-out intensity. Okay. I'm with my guys. Like, we do one-on-one battles tonight. I'm going against the pros one-on-one. So our bodies, and I put myself through exactly what I put them through, because I have just as much attention to deal. I could break down basketball film with you and tell you how, the difference between different NBA players, and I can completely transform a basketball player. I could go another hour on how I've transformed basketball players. I've gotten 13 kids full scholarships who had finished college with no scholarships. And I just took them into the gym and transformed them, and now they're on scholarships. I even have guys on pro contracts who didn't play in college. So I can transform a basketball player. So we go work on this 4 nights during the week, and once on the weekend. We are getting as good as we can at basketball. So there's a lot of natural running and jumping and wear and tear involved with that. So I only suggest additionally to that to actually dedicate at least once a week. And I find that as guys get healthier and better at it, they can do it more often. But basically, if once a week they do that weak leg jump session, they keep jumping higher. Just when you think their jump is going to plateau, it doesn't. It just keeps going up. If they keep building that weak leg jump closer to their strong leg jump. And I found it works as little as once a week. And I found that guys, when they start getting really good at it, They can go more than once a week. They don't have to go more than once. They can. The mistake is to try to go more than once a week when you're at such a differential that it's like super awkward and maybe putting a lot of stress on your body. So that's why I recommend once a week. It worked. It's like once a week, it's never failed.
Yeah.
You can see what I'm saying is that basketball players, these guys are going hard on their bodies 5 days a week, and that has nothing to do with their jump training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're working on moves with as hard of cuts as possible, playing as hard as possible, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
For a pro dunker, I would probably still have them like practicing their dunks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But then I would probably supplement them that they make sure they dedicate and they never miss a week. They make themselves do that weak leg jump session once a week.
Gotcha.
And then if the weak leg one comes up, maybe another one's a little weak. Like maybe for you, you would start with like your right leg.
Yeah, and left, right.
Maybe from that you could then start throwing in some right-left approaches, or maybe from the right you could start throwing in some left leg approaches. I definitely haven't found that it's like, oh, if you work on your weakest but not your second weakest, it doesn't work. I mean, just working on any of the weak approaches has seemed to work.
Yeah.
And it does seem that the weaker the approach, like the more you'll get out of it.
Definitely. I'm going to definitely implement that for sure. And I know you probably got to run soon, but I just wanted to ask one more thing if you have here. Yep. 1 more minute. So I just want to see, for flexibility, can anybody get that flexible where like palms to the ground, full squat formation, or some people's bodies just like too tight or like too bone structure? And then also potential as, can anybody get to a 50-inch vertical like myself?
Great questions. On the flexibility side, you can see I'm not the oldest guy. As long as I've been doing this, I haven't found that anyone hits a sticking point that they can't keep getting more flexible.
Okay.
Can anyone do the splits? Can anyone go palms to the floor? I would say theoretically, yeah, because I haven't seen anyone that hits a point that they can't keep getting better.
And that's, you think that's essential for like recovery and just athletic performance?
Well, it's an interesting thing. I've gone as long as a year without doing any stretching, but doing our ATG exercises, which a ton of them are loaded stretches, right? So right. I've been able to, stay flexible without doing any stretching. I've just found that additional real expert stretching can help the lifts even more. So I just do it to get even more out of my exercise. Okay. And now, I can see a guy's hips improving on the court. I can see like a defensive stance changing or a crossover changing as their flexibility improves. Okay. So I've never had guys just stretch. It's always been more strength work through full range of motion. And the extra stretching seems to be like, why wouldn't you? Because we're finding that to help so much to get even more out of the exercises. So I think there's a yin to the yang there that I think like the more strength and flexibility you can have, I haven't seen any diminishing effects. I've only seen diminishing effects when your strength is now not matched, like you're super strong in one range, but then when you go deep, you're super weak, right? Or you're super inflexible, you're crazy strong squat or deadlift, but you're super tight. Or you're super flexible, but you don't have the strength.
Yeah, so I'd be the one that's super tight and pretty strong. But so where your YouTube have like how to get that range of motion? Like for me, a squat is like my hips are super tight. I kind of know the basics of how to get it looser. I've been working on it, but would you be able to help through the YouTube videos? Would that have some information, or is that more like the coaching?
No. Here's the cool thing about the YouTube. The YouTube, there's actually nothing held back.
Awesome.
The YouTube, there's nothing held back at all. The coaching is simply
personal.
The coaching is because, so if you're a kid and you just follow our stuff and you just really study as hard, like I have so many people who get stuff out of it just from like seeing Instagram, or like they came here one time and worked out and I taught them some stuff and then they've gotten great results. But I've never been able to fully duplicate the results without seeing their form after everything.
I get it.
It's just so it's more. That's what we tried to do. At first, it would cost me about $99 a month just to be able to do this service. Yeah. But the whole time I was at $99 a month, I was saving up my money and trying to get the system down where I could do it for $49.50 a month. Like if I could do it $1 a day, I would do it $1 a day. Yeah. Just try to have so many people on it. But right now, I don't have like a robot that can tell what your form was. Yeah. Although I don't think that's impossible down the road because the lifts are that black and white. But it's simply what I found is that to get the absolute exact results that I get in the gym, I have to be able to see the form after the session. And that's why I've made it $49.50 a month, because the idea is not, let me keep my secrets, because I know programs that are like where people write you programs and stuff. It's many hundreds of dollars a month, if not like, you know, a couple thousand for like a few month package or something. No, it's $49.50 a month. If it's not for you, you can refund. You can cancel at any time. There's no, like, the idea is that for a guy who doesn't want to be hiring a personal trainer, and there's not a lot of ATG trainers yet. Yeah. So for a guy who thinks that the ATG system is right for them, wants to do our system, that they can save a bundle of money by just paying $49.50 a month for us to coach them. So it's not for everyone. If you're like 13 years old and you go to school all day long and you have AAU practice after, like, maybe you can't afford that. I could at that, because I was mowing lawns and washing car. I was a freaking hustler. I would do whatever it took. So I was paying more than that on books and DVDs back when I was that age. So I'm not like a super sympathetic guy. I literally tried to set the $49.50 up a month for what I could actually relate to. And that's why people were telling me to charge more. Everyone told me to charge more. All I was doing was trying to work it to what I actually like what I would want. And so 99, I think that's too much. Like, I was trying to get that shit under $50 because that was what, like as a kid, I would have been like, fuck yeah, I'll mow a couple lawns and I'll do that.
Get this. Okay. So final question, speaking of $49.50, do you think I can get to a $49.50 inch vertical?
Yep. I would say I do think so.
Let's go.
If you're already where you're at and you haven't done the ATG system, then based on my statistical analysis, you have a long way to go.
Let's go. That's
awesome.
Where,
even for myself, because right now someone online could say, well, Ben, you only have a 39. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I believe I test pretty strictly. If you watch my videos, you'll see that for a guy coming from a 19, like, I can throw down, I can get up there for a guy coming from a 19-inch vertical. So, but my point is that, like, that 39, that was the last time I tested, and that was a new PR by like 2 inches. So you see what I'm saying? So like, it's not like I've been stuck at 49. I haven't tested in months because I'm trying to force myself to build my weak point. So I just recently got my and I was doing everything out of sequence, meaning I just got down my left leg jump, but really I should have been trying to get my right leg down first. Yeah. So now I'm trying to now I can do every jump equal except my right leg jump, which I was avoiding like the plague. Yeah. But now that I'm doing it, my body's feeling great and my other jumps feel even better. So this has all been a learning process for me. But I'm at 39 and I truly believe, and I remember telling guys last year, I said, come back next summer, I'll be dunking off my left leg. Because I couldn't. Go. You could see me try. All last summer. I could not jump off my left leg. I was researching all the high jumper. I was trying everything for that single leg jump. And simply by continuing my exercises and just practicing the dunk and not doing any fancy plyometrics, that's what ended up working for my single leg jump. No drills, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just practicing the jump plus continuing to build my own weak points. You could imagine if I only started training properly, and I've been discovering this stuff over the last few years, like, I'm still a newbie on a lot of this stuff. Yeah. So that's what I found. So now guys come back, and that's how I get my clients like this, is because guys who saw me last summer and now they can see me dunk off one foot, it's like, well, shit. That's a real change. And now I'm telling everyone this summer, wait till you come back next summer. Don't let me get that right leg on yourself.
All right. Well,
and I think next testing, I think I'll get the 40, maybe even 41.
Let's go.
Right now, I'd have to say that you are heading towards 50.
Let's go. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate the conversation, man. I look forward to doing this again if you want to be back on. But I know you probably got to run. If there's anything else you want to say.
The next one, you come down here and work out, and I'll show your followers. I'll show them the ATG system with you as the model.
That'd be awesome, dude. I got to make myself make a trip out there. Awesome, man. All right, man. Well, if there's anything else you want to say, give it out. If not, it's at Athletic Truth Group _ It'll be all in the links below. But thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. My mission is to get the word out, so I can't thank you enough.
Of course, man. All right, great to meet you. We'll talk soon, bro.
All right, see you, man.
Oh, that's the anthem right there. Tried to make an intro, ended up making an anthem.